Is the stream, is it running for you guys now? Let me know. We might have just had to restart it. I just restarted the stream again. So you guys, were you guys not seeing any of the coins I was covering? Oh my goodness. Why didn't you guys tell me sooner? How did you guys let me do all those coins and never tell me? You guys thought I was just like just talking into thin air? My goodness. How is the stream on you guys' end now? I got 6 saying they can see the stream. If you guys leave and come back into the stream, I think it's going to reset it for you. All right, the live started now. Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, guys, I'm not mad. I'm not even stressed. All right, should we run all those coins again, guys? You guys good on your end? Hell yeah. Sorry about that. As you guys, the people who know me, right, I'm definitely not tech savvy. Thank you for the hearts and the laughing faces. Makes me feel like I didn't completely drop the ball there. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's revisit our coins, guys. Now that the stream's live, I would like to hit it first with Bitcoin, okay? I just want to revisit Bitcoin. Let's get that going. If you guys have any friends or Twitters or anything, go hit them up. Get some more chart requests filed into me so that we can keep the thing going. So far, the list of coins that I have spent is we're going to cover Bitcoin, then Roar, FARTBOY, Algorand, AERO, and LDO. If you guys have any other altcoins you want to cover, please let me know and we'll run through them. Okay? Let's back up and run through Bitcoin really quickly because I do think it's hypercritical to understand what's going on here. Again, what we're watching for on Bitcoin is the possibility of a Y leg being in here. It came to the most common target of 1 through 1.236. And we're looking as this is a new impulse to the upside. Right? So if Bitcoin on the micro, for me the micro, right, is this hourly 4-hour, if it's truly making a reversal, guys, this means at some point altcoins will join this party. But what we really want to see for our altcoin season to kick off is what? Man, that volume caught my eye. Look at the volume coming up on Bitcoin with the fall down. People are buying her up. You want altcoin season, then you really want to see altcoins get the chance to breathe. That means the dominance for Bitcoin needs to take a step back while the Bitcoin price goes up. That will allow the altcoins to go apeshit, right? So like we talked earlier, if that's a WXY, this is our new invalidation, guys, for that situation. And once we form a pivot here, we'll have even better invalidation. But what we want to say and keep our eye on is what? This was a prior degree wave 4, right? We typically investigate the price action of a prior degree wave 4. In an expanded flat, this can easily wick down into here. And that would be like we've seen in previous cycles. Blockchain backers actually pointed this out. In previous cycles, we like to form little bull flags. We like to break out. Then we like to back test the bull flag and take off. If we look at XRP, it did the same exact thing, right? Last night before I went to bed, I made a joke in the XRP chat and I said, be careful because it just could be making an expanded flat on you guys here, right? That's why I told everybody in the community this was the area of interest we were looking for. We had an internal fair value gap here. Expanded flats, love the 1.618, and then we took off. I'm long biased and riding them on XRP. I think it's a smart thing to be in, and we'll see what happens. But it almost looks one step ahead of Bitcoin, right? It's odd, but it could be. So if this is your roadmap on Bitcoin, right, on an 8-hour, 4-hour, guys, this is what we're looking for. On a 4-hour to 8-hour, you're looking for Bitcoin to be making a wave 1, and then a successive wave 2. Now that wave 2 could go down to the previous degree wave 4 like we talked about and back test that, but we're looking to at least get this down into the 105.8 range, 105.6 range, after which we would look for a strong move to the upside with displacement that would leave a lot of people behind. That would take Bitcoin up to around 123,000, right? You seen the joke, Addy? It cracked me up. I hope people seen it, man. I always like to make this like, there's no humor in trading, right? There needs be a little bit of humor in this. Shit's way too damn serious. Everybody takes themselves so seriously in this. But anywho, so if we're moving off, then we're looking for Bitcoin to really smash and dash. By that I mean displacement, right? So finish a correction. This strong move up will likely give a wave 1 into a 2, a 3, 4, and 5, and that'll be 5 waves in a wave 3. You can see how even that wave 3 would give really not a whole lot of opportunities to get in on it, right? So what you would want to see is the possibility that after that wave 3, you would get your larger degree wave 4. If your wave 2 was sideways like this, your wave 4, could be deep and scary, right? So it could give a first push. Like often, it likes to fall back 2 places. So I would say something like this and investigate prior degree wave 4, right? That would be my first go or guess. And then you would get a successive 5 waves up to finish the impulse for the cycle, and you would basically be done around that 130,000 range. So honestly, guys, I do think we're still biased to the upside. I'm not scared. I think there's numerous altcoins that are trying to set up to give you the same opportunities. We just need to see what happens, and we need to seize the charts that actually look good instead of trying to go after charts that are bullshit, right? Just because it has a fancy name or all your friends on the internet told you about it doesn't mean it's the best chart to be invested in. All right, so that was Bitcoin. Let's switch over to Roar. Hopefully my Roar people are still here. Let me know in the chat if you guys are still here, Roar Kitties. Meow. You guys are in a hell of a poll on the internet. That Twitter poll, man, for Roar. You guys are in it, man. The FARTBOY community's thick. They're dense. There's so many of them, and they stink. So they're going to be all up on you. You got to be ready. They're ready to battle. I hope you guys are ready to battle. All right, guys. So if we're looking at Roar, we're looking at the macro, right? So when I look at Roar's macro, we talked about this when my stream was not on. But we have higher price action closures and overall lower volume and lower RSI. When we get these things, that's a momentum divergence. And because of the way structure was built, we like to side with those 5 waves here, being the 5 waves in a wave 1 or A. Now, later, Roar could go bananas, right? But right now, I would say its primary means is to finish this correction. So I would say as long as the kitty still got a decent community, you could see it come back. Now, if the cats want to claw their way out of the deceleration channel, taken from 0 to B to C, and break this resistance area that they're making and invalidate my play, great, even better, right? Now we have something to go off of. Now you have Roar breaking targets and going impulsive. And I know it seems stupid, and you guys can throw sand in my eyes, and Mr. Miyagi will be there cheering me on, but I think that when you see a move that gives a strong motion to the upside, it's likely that at some point it will get a partner leg to this, right? At least that's what they say in Elliott Wave theory. So because of this, I have to stay biased that at some point it does see a bullish path. Now, if it finishes a C leg to the downside, C legs are finished in 5 waves, meaning wave 1, wave 2, we would then look for a wave 3, 4, and 5 at some point, right? And that'd be 5 waves in C. You would likely at that point be making the low of a wave 2 or B. Either way, it doesn't matter, right? And why doesn't it matter? Because you're going to be looking for a strong movement to the upside after that C leg that'll make this correction look like not shit. Yes? Corrections are bullish opportunities. not opportunity for you to be fearful and go sit in a closet and call all your friends. Yes? It's time to seize the moment. All right. So that's Roar. Let's move on to FARTBOY. Let me know. We might get a little bit of a lag here switching back and forth between DEX and the trading view. So I might lose you. But do you have any questions over Roar, guys, before I move into FARTBOY? Anything at all? If so, you just let me know, and I'll get it taken care of. And I want to say thank you guys for coming. And we have 13 people here, dude. I'm so stoked. Never had 13 people in my live stream ever. So this is really cool. All right. So FARTBOY, really strong community. Recently, it made a really good move to the upside in 5 waves. What we see here is that it did not give an RSI divergence. But we did see volume diverging, right? We also see in this 5-wave motion the possibility of having 5 waves within the 5th wave. It gave a really clear push to the upside. When it gave those 5 waves here to the upside, everybody and their cousin was screaming for breakout, breakout, breakout. But it just wasn't the case. Volume was giving you the signs and symptoms that we were diverging. Momentum was beginning to wane, right? They're losing it. The buyer is losing it. Anyways, so we switched our correction up a little bit here. To me, it looks like 3, 3, and waiting for the final 3 to the downside. That would complete a Y leg. The most common target for Y legs is 1 through 1.236. This takes FARTBOY back to 0.01841 to 0.01728. This would completely fill the internal fair value gap. I would say that it would be better if FARTBOY could catch support by the 786 retrace support. Fibonacci taken from low to high of the 5 waves, which we don't know yet if it's at wave 1 or a wave A. We will find that out later. But right now for FARTBOY, what matters most is how support is made. Yes? So let's put a deceleration channel on this correction really quickly. You can see how this makes a 3-wave motion up, caught in a consolidation, right? Caught in a channel. It's not, that's how I wasn't. People were like, oh man, is the low in? Oh man, is the low in? The low's not in until it breaks to the upside impulsively and gives displacement. This was never displacing. This was just some choppy shit right here to bait you in, right? And even now, we have not reversed. We have not broke from a deceleration channel taken from high to low. Because we found such good resistance and center line reactions, I think the channel's valid. I think we wait for more price action here on FARTBOY, and potentially it gives one more low. At that point, I would be willing to possibly come in with a small DCA purchase. But like I've always talked about, right, guys, I like to buy things in the safest manner I can, right? So I personally am not looking to dip my toes in the sand here until probably I'm going to even say, I'm going to give it a little bit of street cred and go for the 786 because of the community strength. And I'm going to go to the bottom of the fair value gap. And I would be buying in a DCA style where I make a small purchase, a heavier purchase, and my heaviest purchase with invalidation at these lows, right? So I think that we're biased for a little bit lower action right now. But overall, I think due to this hourly move to the upside, which was what, 63%, I believe? 78%. I misspoke. I apologize. FARTBOY was too bullish. It said, fuck your 63%. I made 78%. I'm fart man. So at that point, right, we would look for a reversal for this C leg, taking it to the 1 through 1.23 or 1.382. I misspoke there. I apologize. 80% of the time, we're going to get that. 10% of the time, we're going to get a stoked C leg that comes up to the 1.618. And 10% of the time, corrections will fall short. I don't ever count on this one. So I always go for my minimum. As an investor, I'm looking for FARTBOY to make that leg down to move up. That move up will mirror this 78% move, right? Yeah, exactly. FARTBOY is not farting around. If it can get that bounce out of support, guys, that's another 78%. Now, I also want to cover something while we're here for everybody who's new to my channel. This was the very first support that I gave you on FARTBOY, right? This is where I told you to look out. This was our next support. I said after that, we go to this target box. Did I not? We went right to the support. I put it at 0.1619. We went to 0.1611. There's not another person on YouTube, on any of the platforms, giving you that accurate of a target for FARTBOY. Yes? Promise. Go look. I'll wait. Even the most popular ones, even the big dogs, bet they didn't give you that. Or any of the other supports on FARTBOY. No one's been here for the community like I have. Right? Not one person. Guaranteed. Oh, thoughts on Lakai AI, my dude. TP Hand, nice to see you here. Let me write that down. We have not looked at Lakai AI in forever. I don't know if some of my people here remember, but we traded that earlier back on KuCoin. It was kind of like a hyped AI that dudes were putting in their gem sections everywhere. What? I still got Roar here. My dudes, you guys are coming in strong. I really am hoping to see Roar kind of like take back that pole, right? I'm not the GOAT, dude. I don't call it anybody, man. I just think that you want to be a big dog and you want to say, oh, I got 25,000 followers. I got whatever it is. Then you be there for them, right? I wake up every single day and ask myself, how am I going to do better for the people who are there for me? And by that, I mean you guys. You support me. You're here all the time, chatting with me, being my homies. This is a lonely arena, right? You're out there by yourself fighting all these dragons and fucking tigers and shit. No one cares about you in trading. And it's so fun to have you guys behind me. Or not even behind me, dude. Standing next to me while we take this shit on heads up. I truly appreciate it. Yo, we got COCORO in the house. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. We got FARTBOY and Roar and COCORO in the house. Is everything going to be okay? I must give you this, JDM. For having 2,000 followers, dude, Roar absolutely is putting it on, right? You got FARTBOY with 12,000 followers, and then you got Roar over here with 2,000 followers coming in strong, dude. I love it. All right, so basically that's our synopsis here on FARTBOY. Let's go ahead and move forward on Algorand. And if any of you have just come in, what countries are you guys from? I always kind of think it's fun to find out where you guys are from. Let me write down the other charts that I just had come in here. The next charts will be CAS. That's a good one, dude. I've been covering it on the Twitter. I really like that one so far. And you said the Lakai AI. I don't even know if that's how you say it. Laika, I think is how you say it. I say Lakai because of skating. I don't know if any of you are skateboarders, but one of my favorite shoes growing. You're from the Pacific Northwest? Me too. No way. No way, bro. NorCal or Southern California, JDM? We should all have like a meetup, dude. Let's go to the Redwoods. Let's go get right and go camping in the Redwoods. The Netherlands, dude. That is on my bucket list vacation spot. I really, really want to go there one day. Well, I thank you guys all for being here. Thank you for your time. I'm going to keep pushing forward so I don't lose anyone's attention. All right, so that was FARTBOY. If you have any questions, we'll go back over that. Let's go ahead and push forward and let's hit up Algorand. Now, we need to zoom back out so we can talk about, Central Cali. Nice. Is that like Grapevine area, sir? My brother, he lives Southern Oregon, down by like Grants Pass, Ashland kind of, called Applegate, Oregon. So I'm always down there, and I like to head into California often, dude. We should grab a latte or something and meet up. So this will be Algorand here. On Algorand, my friends, we can see a move to the upside in 5 waves. But like we talked about earlier, we run into an issue, and that issue is going to be what? It's going to be the ratio of a wave 2 to a wave 4 when there's overlap, right? If there's overlap, that means it automatically makes itself a diagonal. When we talk diagonals, we talk a lot about probability. Number one, diagonals are already rare. Number two, expanding leading diagonals are very rare, right? So this is basically, I'm trying to call bullshit on myself here, but tell you that it can do something, right? So this is invalidation at the recent lows. So it lets you move up your low to here for now, reducing risk for Algorand to the 0.1520 area. So because of this, we need to put a base channel from low to high. If you are to have made an expanding leading diagonal and you made a wave 2, which fell back very deeply to a 786,888 area, which the text says is the most common thing to see, right? The text by Frost and Prechter and Elliott Wave says after a leading diagonal, you typically are going to see a 786 retracement. So it makes complete sense that we get this very deep retracement when we pull from low to high to that 888, almost 90% retracement zone, right? So now what we want to see is the angle of the dangle. We want to see this thing break to the upside. So if it's corrective, it will just be an ABC. It will likely hit the one line around 0.27 and fall back. If it's impulsive, the angle of this ascent will be what gives it away. The angle of the dangle will just come on up out of the channel, find a micro support on top of a base, and finish your wave 3, right? And then you would get your 3-wave pullback in 4, and a final 5 waves in 5. That would take Algorand to the 0.55 level. But again, invalidation's close. Now, if Algorand can begin to form the displacement, yes, and it does move up here and tag this 0.25 level, I would take my stop loss or invalidation up to another pivot, right? I would want to reduce risk further. So every time I begin to make this price action to the upside, again, I'm looking to, damn, Mad Pita Peppers is in the house. We got, what, 3 roaring kitty people in here right now. You guys are showing up, my dudes. Meow. Look, the cats, dude. Who can resist a cat in a sweatband? Just putting in heat at the charts. I've got to say, the memes I think are so fun. I love getting all the pictures and like all the fun little videos that people are making. They crack me up. This trading space is way too serious. We need more humor. All right. So we got that done. That's Algorand for now here. On the micro, again, this would have to be a wave 1 into 2, and you really need displacement to come, sir. So you wanted the micro also, but there's really no reason to look as long as volume is falling off, right? Until you get a micro volume that really starts to pick up, which, look at it. You haven't seen shit yet, right? Even on a 2-hour. Look at the volume. Not shit. Right? Now, if this arcing and the fallback and then it takes off and smashes out the highs and volume starts coming in, happy days. You're going to potentially start to make a reversal. But until then, I can't give Algorand those odds. So the micro doesn't look so hot, so I would have to stay zoomed out. And also keep in mind, you're trying to bet on what would be a low probability scenario as a potential diagonal. Who said investing has to be boating? That's funny. All right, let's keep going. So we got Algorand done. Let's move over to AERO. This is another coin that I really, really like, guys. I like it because of its structures. I don't know jack shit about its program. I just know that it's essentially like your financial hub for the base ecosystem. Aerodrome Finance kind of finances that hub. So for me, I think it is important to understand the macro roadmap on AERO is that you're looking at a potential 1-2, 1-2 stacking here after the second 2's finished. That would take it up to a minimum wave 3 at $2.60 to a wave 5 at $5, right? So these are incredible gains. If I can get this next entry pocket, I'm going to take it, right? That's 300% just for the wave 3. Earlier, this was our entry pocket that we took and rode up. I only made, I think, 80%. Yeah, I sold out a little bit early, so I only made 80% on this one. But I know a lot of people sold out into the peak also in our community. So this was a really good one. Oh, AG's in the house. Says they just got a minute to pop in and say, keep up strong work, sir. Your knowledge and guidance is so much appreciated. By the way, XRP is going for it right now. What's it going to do? Sir, good thing I called out the long for us in the Discord community. Am I right? We absolutely nailed that one last night. So I think that you've seen an expanded flat here and an ABC, and now you're picking up, right? So at some point, this first leg is going to get a partner leg, right? So this is somehow wave 1 into wave 2 and looking for wave 3. So I do think XRP is bound at some point to make 240 to 250. I think that all of this leads right into our macro for XRP, right? I'm not concerned. This has been the plan all along. When everybody else was crying to their mommy, we were buying XRP, right? So it's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be against the herd and swim against all the mass of the fish, because you're going to make it. They're not going to make it. They're just scared salmon. They're going to get ate by all the bears. All right, so everybody wanted lower. XRP is potentially not going to give us that AG. So if you go from 0 to 3 to 4, you slap that on. You can get your action points a little more accurately. But we're looking for around 371 as a possible ending diagonal here, because you'd be saying you have 3 waves up in 1, 3 waves down in 2, 3 waves up in 3, 3 waves down in 4, 3 waves up in here. Could potentially be the cycle over at that point. So that's something to be aware of. Let me know if you have any more questions, AG. I just wanted to get it done for you because I saw you pop in really quickly. All right. And as a Discord member, I always try to give you guys the priority on this kind of shit. Make sure you get your stabs. All right, so we covered AERO. Let's go back to it and look at its low time frame reversal zone really quickly and why we were watching this area. All right, so far, AERO's given us no reasons to say that it's going to 100% take off like a barn raider and go for the skies right now. So if it made 3 down in W, 3 up in X, we're waiting for the final 3 down in Y. Again, the most common target of Y is 1 through 1.236. That takes AERO down to 0.65 to 0.60. You might even get a dip into this internal fair value gap left behind, right? If it, hey, Healthy Foods 2025, where are you from, my dude? FARTBOY in the his house. Oh, another roar in the his house. You guys are showing up, dude. So, if you are looking for this, right, what AERO does out of this box and why I have a triangle like this is because it's got the largest base, right? The base is where I make my largest DCA purchase, and I'm not looking to start buying until around 0.65. I'm being patient on my investment because in the end, you being patient and you giving this your time is going to pay off highly, okay? So AERO is looking for that reversal on the low time frames in this box. All right, let's go look at LDO for our dude. He's first timer coming in. Really cool to see you, by the way, sir. Hope you're still here. Let's go back to your chart. Now, again, we covered LDO because this looked like 3 up, 3 back, 5 to the upside. When we added the extension, yeah, this is live. Happy, how are you, friend? Don't be confused. All is well, all is well. So that would be 3 to the upside likely in an ABC, 3 to the downside in ABC, and 5 to the upside in a C wave. That never breaks 1 through 1.382, Nitin. I hope you can see this now, my friend. I'm sorry for the freaking screw up earlier. God, I feel silly. All right, so that means we only have 3 waves to the upside. Right, Nitin? So then we pop our internal fair value gap here so that we can see the liquidity left behind. And if this is 3 up and 3 down in B, the only bullish scenario we should fall into right now is a C wave with most likelihood to take the highs at $1.20. That would take you from $1.20 to $1.54, maybe even a wick into internal fair value gap. But for now, that's the most bullish scenario I could give LDO. But again, your invalidation's at 0.622. So when you weigh this out from a risk to reward perspective, right? I don't know where you're at in this project, sir. But for me, if you were to get in today and you were looking for minimum, that's a 3.71 risk to reward trade. That's a great trade in my opinion. So not a bad setup for investing. And you have to tell yourself, right? If I got in today, for every $100 I put in this project, I'm risking losing $16.35, not including fees. That's no leverage. And I'm looking to ride this up, right? I'll take 100% return on my investment to risk 16%. That works for me, right? I'm not scared of that. All right, so we hammered out LDO. Let's move over to CAS. That's the next chart that I saw pop up. All right. So far, CAS is the next one. Let me make sure I'm not missing any other charts. The chat is fired off right now. So I got CAS and I got Leica AI. Let's do COCORO for the fam while they're here also. You guys still in the house, COCORO? Let me hear you if you are, so I know you want to see your chart. Dude, the Netherlands, man. Every time I read that, it's like, I just want to escape today. How do I go? Need a break. All right, so we already hammered out XRP for AG, so I won't revisit that. Happy you cracked me up. All right, so the kitty's still here. The roar kitty's still here. The stream is popping, dude. I'm having an amazing time today, guys. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for like supporting me on Twitter and supporting me on this journey. This is a really difficult journey. It's been an uphill battle. Not only do I fight my own insecurities, but also I gotta fight the haters along the way, right? But we don't mind. We will succeed. So biggest thing to rub in their face is success. All right, so let's go look at CAS, and then we'll come back. Well, if I'm not supposed to go to the Netherlands, where am I supposed to go, Happy? You let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move over to CAS. This is something that we've been watching for a little bit because we have been looking for more entries as it moved along. Now, on the micro, I want to be open to the potential. Roaring with you. You still hear hell yeah, boys. Because he's from Belgium. Yeah, he's jealous, isn't he, CJ? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming to the live, CJ. All right, so on the macro, you have a wave 1 or A to the upside, and you're awaiting a C, right? In that scenario for CAS. If it is to get impulsive, you could be seeing a whole lot more, right? Now, the hard invalidation at this point is here. We can go to the micro, and you can beat your head against the wall and argue with yourself for days about what this is doing. Now, you may have finished 5 waves to the upside on the lower time frames here, and you may have finished a correction. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't give you a little dip into the internal fair value gap here on the daily, and then we can move off. Austria skiing, for fuck's sake. This is the last time. I know, man. I want to go. Trust me. I'm down as hell to go skiing. It's just very expensive to get there. I kidnapped my girlfriend in the Netherlands. Oh, God. Oh, I'm laughing. They need a laughing emoji. Instead, I just got this like half-ass smile one. It's not how people laugh. All right, so for now, we could be seeing more for this project, right? For CAS. Wave 3 would take it up to 0.26 cents, and Wave 5 would take it up to 0.46 cents. I often tell the people that I chill with, don't let these kind of targets grab hold of us and convince us that this is what has to happen, right? Because it's totally not what has to happen, right? I'd keep that to myself. That's funny as shit. Don't tell anybody you kidnapped a white woman. They'll put your ass in prison. All right, so if you're looking for a C wave, you're always looking for what, my guys? You're looking for 5 waves because a C leg's always 5 waves. So if this is wave 1 and you make a wave 2, oh well. Then you finally make a 3, 4, and 5, and then this is over. It could dump after, right? You could just have an ABC. So it's something to be aware of. Now, if those 5 waves can get displaced and start pumping, great. then we're in store for more. But for now, that 0.15 or 15-cent range on the USD chart is going to be something that we really need to keep our eyes on for CAS, okay? But you could have a lot of great upside potentially. So let me zoom out here one more time. On the weekly, what do you see? Nothing but an uptrend, right? And it's resetting the RSI deeply and trying to give opportunity. You also can see on your lows, what did you have? This is something you should, guys, as a spot trader or long-term trader, you should be watching for something like this. Closures, right? Regular bull div means lower price action closures or the flat spots of the candle, the actual closing body of the candle, which is what your RSI is calculated off of. This one's off of a 14 period or 14 candlestick closures to complete the math. You can see that the candles gave a lower body closure, but a higher RSI. This is how you knew CAS was going to reverse, or probability that it were going to. What else do you notice? At the same time, for fuck's sake, as Happy would like to say, you have volume falling off. Your sellers are exhausting. That's giving you the chance to try to make a pivot here, right? So something to be aware of. All right, so we got CAS done. Let's move over to Leica AI. I think it's LAI if I remember correctly. Oh, that's layer. I was misspoken, sir. This was the chart I must have traded way back. What is your ticker for your Leica? Don't know if I'll be able to find it without your help, friend. Let me just make sure I say your name correctly. Maybe I can ping you. Let me see if I can ping you in the chat. Lost it. TP hand. Is that toilet paper hand? Toilet paper hand. Are you still here? If you are, can you let me know the exact ticker? Ah, fucking auto-correct me. I tell you what. Is it Leica? It's L-A-I-K-A. Let me know, friend, what the ticker is, and I'll go back and do that chart for you. But for now, I can't find it. So let's go look at COCORO. Is the COCORO fam still in the house? I got one of you, it looks like. Oh, a roarer. We got another roarer in the house, baby. Yee! How many is that so far? 5? I think we might have 5 roars in the house. Just a couple fart boys. They might be outnumbering you guys. We got a couple Cocos, so let's go look at their chart really quickly. Again, guys, when I switch from the regular chart to the deck screener, a lot of times we'll get some feedback issues and cause some lag. So something to be aware of. All right. Addy. The little puppy emojis. How'd you find other emojis? I got to find my emojis. All right. So, guys, on this COCORO chart, this is, again, a possible diagonal. It's, again, a low probability structure to the upside that we're going to just have to not sit and nitpick and, in my opinion, call an A and waiting for a B wave, right? Now, if you're waiting for the C to the upside, great. No big deal. Roar is up in the house. Dude, they're degens like you. Happy can't even talk. Tell them what you loved. What was it? Smoking chicken fish? That was one of your top fucking meme coins. At least theirs is cute. Yours was disgusting. It's like a naked chicken in a bikini smoking a cigarette. Made me want to throw up. All right, so when we put our extensions on this to the downside from high to low to high, we can see COCORO comes right back into the 1 through 1.382. Bulls want this 1.382 not to be lost at a million zeros, 2113. Let's not open old wounds. They still feel pretty fresh. And then after which, it would look for the 1 through 1.382 to the ups. Didn't even mention Dino. God, I got to quit reading the chat. I can't focus. Probability will shift to the bears if the 786 retracement taken from low to high is hit. Invalidation will come if the low of the structures is lost. And at that point, the COCORO would shit its thighs and the puppy would not be allowed back in my house, right? Can't have an untrained dog in the house shitting all over the place. So what we need is this to form a pivot. And on the micro, COCORO is looking to give some sort of pivot to form for entry so you can move invalidation up to the next low and look for displacement, shallow pullback, another move. This is where I would be a heavy consumer of the project when it made that dip. And then I would look for 3, 4, and 5 up into the target box in a potential C wave, guys. Does that make sense? So I think on COCORO, it's all good as long as we can start to form that reversal sooner than later, okay? All right. So I got basically all our chart requests done so far. We can just keep chatting and hanging out until some more chart requests come in. So far, we got 14 people hanging out and 12 people like this stream. Thank you so much for that, guys. It means a lot, honestly. I really hope in time through consistency and showing up every Monday that we can kind of get more people hopping in the stream. So let's go look at Mask. Mask Network was one that we nailed support on. Let's go. Oh, this is not the right chart. I went to the wrong one. Mask Soul. This is Cat with Mask. This is another little... don't make me look at XRP right now, CJ. Gosh, get me sidetracked. All right, so Mask with Soul. We called the resistance box out. And we were looking for a retracement, right? We were looking for it to come into where? The internal fair value gap left behind and make a move up. It's going to invalidate this support that it made. So whoever took that bet, make sure that you're mitigating risk. You should have put a retrace fib from low to high and left when it lost to 786, right? Now it's coming down with conviction and could possibly invalidate the secondary leg to the upside. So be aware of that. All right, did you cover Roar? Yeah, let's do it again, man. I got all day. I like it. If you guys want more Roar, let's do more Roar. Dude, I made good money on Cat with Mask. You just got the people, they don't like to get out, right? So a lot of people don't like to get out. I want to look at autos really quickly because this might be something I'm slightly biased on at the moment. If this can form another local pivot, it could make a decent move, guys. So you need to keep autos on your radar, right? I almost said on your rabies. I have no clue why. It must be because I have the Roar and all these like cats and animals on my mind right now. Rabies just like jumped right into the forethought. All right, so while I'm here, let's write down the next charts people are asking for. Real true shit coins they're asking for now, folks. HBAR? Ugh. Yuck. Makes me want to throw up. All right, so we looked at HBAR. That's what you want. And then you said XRP. CJ also would love to see XRP as it is tearing off right now. All right, what was the other one? Link. Ben Don yet? I thought you spoke good English. Killing me, bro. You know, you sound like me. All right, and then we have ADA after that. God, you just came in and just rapid fired about 90 shit coins. You sit here, talk trash to these Roar guys and FARTBOY guys. Their coin's about to move better than half of that ones you just mentioned. HBAR and Link are just pissing off. All right, so for the Roar community, when we look at Roar, we're looking at the 5 waves to the upside. Yes, everybody? What we note and what I think is hypercritical to pay attention to is the volume, right? Largest volume peaks in 3. Volume in 5 significantly dropped. Yeah, dude, let's check out ETH. I'll write it down on the list. Thanks, JDM. Question, JDM. Is it JDM because of the cars? I thought that JDM was like a racing car brand, maybe? I could be wrong. Let me know. 1 second. Sorry, guys. My wife was trying to talk to me at the same time. Sorry. 1 sec. Just wanted to say something to her. Told her I can only text her in the middle of the stream. All right. No, just your initials. Yeah, it's Honda. Yeah, when I was in Japan, dude, everybody's like ripping Skylines, like all these crazy ass cars and shit, man. Everybody's just like going hard, man. I miss Japan. I miss being overseas a lot. It was always probably, I bet Japan was probably one of my most fun places I've traveled yet. How about you guys? Any fun places you've traveled, or any places that you recommend that people should travel? All right, so what we're noticing here is that the peaks of a wave 3 closures and the peaks of a wave 5 closure, right, guys? Dog and cat people are getting fit. Well, calm down. Why don't you get us some pictures of your kitty? Everybody would love to see your kitty. Old Pixels Von Purrington, as you would call him. So what we can notice in between these closures is what? Higher closures on price action means it secures an actual closure or the flat spot of the candle, and lower volume and lower RSI. When we get this, that's a momentum divergence, right? That's something keying us in to the top of the project may be in, right? And that we're looking for a healthy correction, right? So what we're looking for now is this to finish its correction. So for me on Roar, I'm biased towards the correction, right? I'm biased towards this giving that next leg to the downside in 5 legs in the blue path in C, right? We can make this more visible for you. We'll make it yellow. In the yellow path in C, right? To invalidate this play, Roar would need to smash out of the deceleration channel that is taken from high to low. After 3 points of connection, you can see we found resistance at the top. Because of that, it kind of validates the deceleration channel. And until Roar can break out of the deceleration channel, I would say my bias is towards the next leg of correction. And that takes it to the 1 through 1.382 at 0.7202 to 0.4312 and lower, as you can see. So again, this could be one that could just take a little bit longer to correct. Okay, let's move on to these top shit coins shilled by the Senor Happy and see what we can figure out. All right, sir, the first one you asked for is HBAR. Let me take a peek. My long is still doing good. All right, let me go. Hopefully you guys can't see my screen. I gotta add to my longs here. All right, we're still good. We're running, boys. All right. Let's see what I gotta move up my TPs so I don't get tagged while I'm not paying attention. All right, so let's go look at HBAR and then yeah, dude. Thank you for coming, JDM, and thanks for being so engaged, dude. It really means a lot. You guys always keep the chat fired up. You guys are always chatting. It lets other people get that possibility to see the stream too, because I do hope one day to get to share my work with others. I love this stuff. I really, really do. So very passionate about it. All right, let's go look at HBAR. Is it about to HBAR off? It could, right? You would have to depend on what? Like we drew in our last stream, nothing has changed. You're wanting this to be a wave 1 and somehow a wave 2, right? We're a little bit out of proportions here at this point. But again, you're hoping for what we looked at on what other chart today already, guys. Does anybody remember? Algorand, yes? 90% retracement occurs, making it likely that if it cannot get over the golden pocket, it will put in new lows, right? So if you pull a fib retrace from low to high, once price action secures around 88 to 90% of a fall or a correction to the downside, it turns itself into only a possible B wave. At which point you would look for what? A C wave to the upside, right? So you're not super scared here, right? You're looking for a 1 and a 2 at some point, 3, 4, and 5 to get you into this target box of 1 through 1.382, right? So for now, easy peasy. Don't be fearful. look for this plan to work out for HBAR. And yes, we've already talked about it. It's a leading expanding diagonal, right? Why is it a leading expanding diagonal, guys? We talked about this earlier in the stream. It's critical for you to learn these things. So if no one's around, you too can look at this and try to call bullshit. So if your friends tell you that's 5 in a diagonal, you can say, well, probably not, Al, because 4 is not only longer in time, but deeper in displacement than the 2, right? I did do roar already, sir, but if you stick around, I'll do it for you again in a little bit. We just finished going over roar for JDM, sir. All right, so on HBAR, you can see the other thing. What, Happy? You're building a bullish reversal candles off this 786 and the 702. You need to break the 618 at 1576, and then HBAR will get a chance to come to fruition to the upside for this play, okay? And then we'll talk about it more later. Exactly, Addy. The 4 is bigger than the 2. In a leading expanding diagonal, if your 4 is bigger than your 2, it fucks probability off, yeah? So it doesn't mean it can't happen. They are bots, Surf. Don't listen to them. Yeah, right. These guys said they were my friends. God, don't be so rude. I have friends. Yeah, leading expanding diagonals are super, super rare. Sorry, my wife and daughter are now texting me. All right, so that's HBAR. Let's keep rolling. So that's HBAR for Happy. Happy, do you have any questions over HBAR, sir? You are my friend, but you just told me that all those people were robots and that they weren't my friends. God, I thought you guys liked me. All right, let's go look at XRP. Give it a proper look-see. All right, so as you know, I'm bullish on it. I took a long on it. And I did so because I'm looking at this as a possible ending diagonal to the upside. The bots got, sir. Yeah, man, they come in and hacked me up. I thought I had real friends. I thought one day someone's going to like buy me a fridge magnet that said, we're friends. You know, it's going to be like, shit, man, I made it. All right, so if we're lucky, this will be wave 1 of the first leg of a ending diagonal in 3 waves. For XRP. At the next leg, you would look for this to push up in a 3-wave motion also. Right? So again, you need some sort of 3-wave motion to make 3. And then 3 waves down to make 4. That likely overlaps. And 3 waves up that make 5. In which those 3 waves up are smaller than the 3 waves up that made the 3. Right? So this is an ending diagonal. This is how XRP could end the scenario. Now you'll say, why did you take a long? Well, I took a long because I'm watching this as a potential wave 1 into 2. Wave 1 into 2, right? Both 2s were made in expanded flats. And an A, B, and C. I don't need you anymore, AERO. And the same thing again. We like to see the same thing. A, B, and C. Both wave 2s in the sandwich are the same thing. When you see 1, 2, 1, 2 stacking, the 2s typically like to kind of follow up with like the same structure as the previous one, right? So last night before bed, posted in the Discord and told you guys, get ready. We could be seeing an expanded flat here, right? So this was our long target box. We absolutely nailed it. It was because of confluence of extensions and internal fair value gap. Boom, you take the long. Now you're looking for minimums to the upside. You're looking for this to give a strong displacement to the upside at some point, right? So in my opinion, XRP likely from 0 to the high of a 1 to the low of a 2 should give that impulsive leg to around 240 and then a light pullback and then another leg to that 252 to 254 region, right? I'm bullish on it. Maybe it's because I'm biased as shit and I'm long, but who gives a fuck? It's what I want to do with my money. The next thing that I like about it is what? Look at this volume. Nice arcing, rising volume with some displacement volume and displacement candles. Yes? Likely making reversal, gang. Keep your eyes on that one. All right. Any questions over XRP from anybody? I will go back if need be. Just let me know. Let's go ahead and talk about Chainlink. This son of a bitch is doing everything in its power to screw you off. Yes, to show you that you're wrong. Okay? Now, let's delete everything. Let's just fucking delete everything so we can talk freely. We covered Chainlink in just about every stream. People are heavily invested in it, is my best guess as to why. But again, you're going to need this to be a what? Leading, expanding, diagonal. Why is it leading, expanding? Anybody? So if it's a leading, expanding, don't sweat it. We need to see more from this, right? And what's common after leading, expanding, diagonal, gang? What's the most common support made after a diagonal? 786, right? So if this is a leading, expanding diagonal, please bear with me as this is about to turn into the fucking most cluttered roadmap we've ever looked at together. That could be 5 waves up. We're going to make it a smaller degree because at some point this is going to get really messy. And I don't want to give it my gold color because my gold color is only for the finest of counts. Right? Damn straight, Addy. Expanding again. Most commonly found 786. Now I want to show you something. Link is doing again and again and again. Fucking thing. Again and again it's pulling where? To the 786 to the 90% retracement. But it's not invalidating the prior leg. Right? So let's delete this one so we don't have too much overlap. And look back here again. This is why I'm bullish on Chainlink. Okay? So I know we're really zoomed out, gang, but we'll get there. If that's 5 waves up in a 3-wave pullback, the way that I'm wanting to count this, and you can call bullshit, that's fine, please do. I love having engaging chats. If this was 3 down in W, 3 up in X, 3 down in Y, 3 up in X, and 3 down in Z, you may have a wave 1 into 2, a wave 1 into 2, a wave 1 into 2. Now, if this is true, if it's true and it is triple 1-2 stacking, all we need to concern ourselves with now, guys, is the most inner leg. We need to know what can happen here, right? If that's the most inner leg, let's use our extension tool. We'll talk about the macro. You know what? Fuck it. While we're here, let's talk about the macro. So let's go to the weekly. Because we're on a weekly, I like to be on linear. The reason why is because it keeps our extension targets logical and it doesn't make you look like an asshole down the road. So let's pull an extension from low to high of our first 5-wave series to the low of the 2. I don't give a shit. I think this is where you should put it, even though the correction may have ended here. Now, if this is to be a wave 1, 5 waves in 1, right? You would not want what? You would not want overlap of price action into the top of wave 1, right? After you make your wave 3. Right? So this is why I think Chainlink will get an extended wave 3. I think that wave 3 of that degree will press to the next X.618. And if you want to call bullshit on me and say it can't happen, I'll show you some charts where we pushed to X.618 and I made a shit ton of money. But you would likely push past the 1.618 and get to 2.236 to 2.618 for that degrees wave 3, right? This way you have displacement in the leg that comes so that it doesn't overlap with the top of wave 1 and this one doesn't overlap with the top of its wave 1, right? So now let's, again, apologize, this is going to get super messy, but chain link is not one to, I think, just let go to the wayside. So if I measure from low to high to low, again, we're looking for its wave 3 of the inner count. So again, let's do this. 0 to wave 1 to wave 2. We look for minimum wave 3. I'm just going to give it a confluence hit. 4 and 5. That would be of the inner wave count. Yes? So now you have 5 waves in your wave 3. Now you can see why we could get really extended like that, right? So you can see it's like a little nesting doll. Every layer is just opening up to the next layer of gains and opening up to the next layer of gains, right? So be aware this is what we have going on, okay? All right, so let me get a sip of water here. My mouth is about as dry as the desert. Do bear in mind, 1-2 stacking is more common than any diagonal, right? So these targets for Chainlink are not bullshit. I would say macro-wise, we're going to see this coin explode to the upside at some point. Shit, no, you ain't no bot. Don't let him tell you that. Don't let him shit talk you. Happy's got a spicy mouth on him. You should put him in his place. All right, so if this is triple 1-2 stacking, right? Again, these are the targets we're going to be looking at. That's Chainlink. If you have any question over Chainlink, do let me know. But from here, those wave 3 gains are 3x, right? That wave 5 on the macros, more like a 5x plus. So I do think Chainlink is in for a ride. I do think Chainlink's super bullish. I think that a lot of people are going to call bullshit on it and say, no, it's not plausible, blah, 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 blah. But I do feel like it's very possible, okay? Sorry, I got to take a peek at something. I really want this one to invalidate our counts and start to go. All right, so sir, correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like the next bad bot, don't lie. The next chart that I need to look at is ADA for Happy. So let's go look at that now. And if you still want Roar done, my friend, we can go through that again. Just let me know if you're still here. Chainlink to 1K. If Chainlink hits $100, you better be happy. Fuck 1K. All right, here we go. Trying to form a pivot. Where the hell is Ada? All right. Excuse me. I would prefer to stay zoomed out on this coin and not so zoomed in. In my opinion, if you are lucky, just like all the other coins you looked at, ADA is giving you what? Anybody? Right? Same shit, different coin. Expanding leading diagonal to the upside and then a fall. The difference on this one is what, gang? This is like the LDO chart we checked, correct? So you got 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and a successive 5-wave motion that goes to 1 through 1.382. Right? ADA's not doing enough. Right? It's not giving us that strong reversal. What, dude? You're still here and you listen to the Roar analysis? You're a real G. See, he's not a bot. That's a real G. That's what a real homie does. They listen to the chart they want, and they stick around for you after. That's real, dude. Thank you. Man, I gotta go make sure I thank you publicly in front of everybody. That's some real shit. Thank you. All right, so if this was an A up in 335 and a B down in a 3-wave fashion, we're looking for a C wave up on ADA in a 5-wave fashion. That goes to 1 through 1.382 and test that outer limit of the macro deceleration channel that we'll go take a peek at. Yes, guys? Now, it just missed my target box, so I'm a little bit biased on this because I don't own any right now. So it kind of does piss me off, but that's okay. If it leaves me behind, so be it. Now, if this is going to move up in a C leg or an impulsive 5 legs to the upside, right? We're going to want to see it start as soon as possible. So let's go to the lower time frames here. And this is where ADA's running into issues, right? It's very, very difficult, gang, to say that this is an impulse to the upside, right? You can see somewhat a 5-wave motion in a 3-wave pullback. That 3-wave pullback was the last time that I was involved in getting in on a lot of longs, because you'll also notice this 3-wave pullback occurred on Bitcoin, right? So you have 5 waves up in A, B, C. We had this on many coins. This was your opportunity for longs. 5 waves up, A, B, C, right? When we were getting these, I was piling in the pudding. I was eating it up. I was so excited to be part of the gang, right? I owned got to buy XRP back. I swear I will get him to believe you were a bot. Don't worry, he'll never turn me. He's always tried. He's always tried. It's like the angel and the devil on your shoulders. Happy's like the evil meme coin dealer. Like every time I turn my back, he's there with a new coin being like, do you want this? Only 20x gains left to go, man. And then I'm like out back trying to figure out what I can sell out of my storage. Try to get some more shitter meme coins like Happy. But yeah, so far Cardano has not given any sort of reversal. So let's put a 4-hour idiot box on it from low to high. Let's see some centerline reactions. Let's get to the top end and see some more reactions. Yeah, dude, you got me to buy way too much cock. I want to cry that I even fucking bought that. Right? Like, ugh. Makes me sick that I bought this. Oh God, now there's a black cock in you. Wow. The world of cock has really changed. I think this was the original chart that we might have used. Yep, look how shitty that is. Mother of pearl. What is it, guys? 3-wave motion to the upside. An opportunity to sell. Yeah, I remember you telling me, hold forever. Cock's going to 1 million. And then you used me as exit liquidity. And for that, I'm done with your charts. JDM, are you still here, my dude? If you are still here, JDM, it is time for us to go look at Ethereum. You let me know. You keep having the attitude you are Happy, and you're going to be stuck with your holding your cock. Ha! That was a good joke. Well, you better hurry up and take profits, bro. You're about to get taken out. Bang! They're going to come get you. All right. Let me just peek around here. Basically finished all the chart requests. If you guys have any other chart requests, do get them in. We need... Sorry, guys. Whew. We need to take a look at Ethereum and see if we got any other chart requests. So please get them in if you got them, and we'll keep this party going. Late. Oh, IOTA. You dirty, dirty girl. IOTA breaks this high, my dudes. And this raising volume, see this slow volume coming up the stairs, nice and steady. She might give you another move. Do not flex. Do not forget about it. All right, go enjoy your work, my dude. Good night, Happy. Thanks for coming to the chat. Let's look at Ethereum for our dude real quick. I'm bullish as shit on Ethereum. Addy, I'm sure you can second that, my guy. I probably direct message Addy too much, telling him just how much Ethereum I'm buying. And just how I'm pretty sure I have an addiction to Ethereum at this point. I've been just buying the dip heavy, right? You had this same expanded flat on Ethereum early on back here that we just noted on our other coins, right? So A, B, C. I bought up the dip on Ethereum, right? And you can do this on your own easily, guys. It helps your DCA a lot. So you have an expanded flat. I was not buying way down here, so I can't claim that. Expanded flats, I will give to 2.236 to 2.618. I think they brought this back really far to clean up this internal fair value gap. So if you put it from candle to candle, expand it out to the side, we completely cleared the internal fair value gap up and closed above it. That's how you knew the trend was reversing, my guys, right? And then what did it do? Chop, chop, chop. This, all I've been doing is accumulating Ethereum here. Why? Because it's never lost 1.382 of a correction, right? Been just buying up, buying it up, buying it up. I do think in time, we're going to see that this was a larger move and all of this was corrective. Excuse me. Whether this was it or this was it, I don't care. And now I do think Ethereum is going to pull out. It's probably not going to pull out. It's going to push harder. But I do think it's going to break out to the upside. And I think that comes from what? From our macro targets from back here, right? So you have some sort of 1-2, 1-2 stacking going on here that played out into maybe 3 into 4 and maybe 3 into 4 again in a final fifth. And then you have 3 waves to the downside, right? Nobody expected it, and then it reversed. Now, if you talk about your larger macro targets, again, we talk about these in every single stream. You can look at them around on your 3 days. We'll delete everything so we can see. When you look at Ethereum from a high to a low, this for you, JDM, since you weren't here in our last streams. 1 through 1.382 was the accumulation zone on Ethereum. This is where you should have been buying up the dip, right? Not aimlessly buying into the dip, but buying the dip with coordination in a fashion that allows you to make your DCA count, right? So from high to the base, you buy a little bit, a lot of it, and all the chips. Yeah? Now look at you. Even if you did that, your DCA average is $1,600. That's amazing. You're not getting that kind of return in the stock market. Maybe here and there on some fucking crazy tech shit. But outside of that, you're just not. Right? So form these ways, these strategies. So now we want to make that area a finer buying area, right? We want to make it even better. How could we have done that? Let's go from high to low to high of the individual trend here. You could have bought 618 to 786. Let me turn the 786 on. This would have given you a really fine buying area. Some would say maybe even a low leverage buying area, right? 2x, 3x here would have been phenomenal, right? And now you're riding. I do think this is going to break these highs, and this is going to be initial impulse. So we're looking at some point for $5,400 Ethereum, right? Maybe it sits through another correction before then. But we'll move these attachment points if we need. But roughly, I think that's what you're looking at. Whether the ones here and this is an expanded flat and then it gets going, it barely changes the math. And that's how you get a wave 3 that takes Ethereum up to that 45 range and a wave 5 that tops us at around 55. Okay? All right, so that was Ethereum. JDM, if you're still here, my guy, I will timestamp that for you in the stream Do let me know, please, if you have any questions, okay? It looks like the next thing we have is ONDO for Addy. Yeah, let's look at it. This is something I own nothing of, but I know people ask about often. Before I leave this chart on a 3-day, can we look at something together that I think is important for you to notice about Ethereum? What did it do? You are building a current 3-day support off of the 50 EMA and the 50 RSI, signifying that the bulls could still be in control of this and that they could reverse this on a 3-day. Let's check our bull control zone on a daily, my guys. Let's wait for that RSI to fill in. What is your current daily candle doing, my dudes? You should be so stoked right now. It's building pin bar support off the 50 EMA and getting back in the daily bull control zone of the 50 RSI. If this continues, this 3 waves was a correction with what? Hidden bull on the RSI. Yes, everybody? Meaning what? Lower lows on RSI, but not price action closures. We are buying this up. This thing is ready to ride, right? In my opinion. But again, I can't give financial advice. I'm just some bum in a bathrobe hanging out, chatting with their friends. So, all right, let's go look at ONDO. And then I think we're probably going to get near the end here, guys, unless you have anything else. All right, maybe we need a better chart. But let's see what we can find. Got a 2.36 mil. I would like to find some better volume and a better chart. 5.24 mil. Look at that, was our last time we traded this thing. Rejection from the box. Mother of pearl. Oh, man, too bad I don't trade this. Let's see if Coinbase stacks up to that. Nice, so Coinbase for the win on volume. So let's stay here. What should we be noticing about our RSI on ONDO? Anybody? Does anybody see that? We have new lows on the RSI, but not on price action. What you should also take note of is the buyers and sellers overall are losing interest in this move, right? Also what occurred, lower lows on price action closures, but what the fuck? The sellers didn't support that? Right? So if at that point you were to zoom in, you would have noticed what? You would have noticed you have regular bull divergence on your RSI on a 3-day, right? In multiple locations. Oops. Let's just focus on our local. And regular bull divergence. Right? So volume is dying off. Sellers aren't supporting the move as well. You're making somewhat of a very decent W bottom. I would say even some could argue a possible-ish Adam and Eve bottom, right? Adam and Eve bottoms likes to have that round booty Judy on one side and a pointy booty on the other side. So she went down to Mexico and got her ass done. She has a round booty on one side, and then Aunt Wanda's booty fell off on the other side, right? So if Aunt Wanda comes back up to the neckline, boom. Now you have a W bottom or an Adam and Eve bottom with divergence of volume coming into the lows. Let me get this. And I'm just making all kinds of shit on this chart. So your volume was dying off, showing you it wasn't being supported, right? So that neckline, in my opinion, at $1.03 is the next area of interest here for ONDO, just from a pattern perspective. And then we'll consider more after that. The local time frames is kind of where we're going to be able to use are our extensions, right? We're going to be able to work. We're going to be able to see what's going on. So for now, gang, I want you to stay fixated, though, that the pattern at play says ONDO has around 32% left on the table to get to the neckline. And at that point, what does that mean to you? Okay, how do I measure, right? I do this. I go from the closures to the neckline. I don't measure wick to wick when I do my technical targets. I'm just trying to get this shit somewhat in the range. Make sure we're on log again. Sorry for that, guys. You want to make sure you're on log here just for this portion of what we're doing. This is what happens. Let me delete this one and reclone that. So instantly you notice when you're not on log, because if you clone something, it won't be the same. It'll pop a linear measurement, right? So it will actually be different. So that would be a 42% projected target, technical target of a W bottom or a Aunt Judy's fucked up lumpy butt bottom, Adam and Eve. So let's zoom in. What do we notice here at this pivot? Anybody about its candle bodies? A battle occurred, right? And if you've ever seen the Boondock Saints, the dude with his arms out, William Dafoe, I think, and he was like, a firefight, right? The buyers and sellers are fighting here. The buyers were stronger. Look at this wick, bop, 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 all that wick. Then you have a bullish engulfing closure, trying to form another bullish 3-day, right? So let's zoom in and see, can we form a pivot here? Look at this, bullish hammer candle, bullish engulfing, second bullish candle close over. Couldn't take back the whole range. I bet it didn't even take back 50% of the range. Whammy. She only got 38.2% of the range. The bulls are in control, right? You should have been biased to the upside. So then we go to a 4-hour. For now, one of two things is occurring. One, this is an impulse to the upside. It's a messy ass wave 5 hidden in here. The wave 4 to 2 ratio is off. It breaks some of our rules, but who cares? Either that's a wave 1 or a wave A. And you have a 3-wave pullback into a 382. Now, I guess maybe the other thing we could be open to, but I really don't like it because of the time ratio here, would be if you were lying and saying that was wave 2 and this is wave 4. That's a hell of a wave 4, right? It wasn't past 6 times in length. So you could lie and say it was still a wave 4. That would give you like a bearish scenario where this is 0 to 3 to 4. And you're stuck at the 382 and looking to make a final push maybe in the wave 5 of 5. But I would say what it's doing here is trying to form a valid reversal. So I think for your spot people looking for that 32% gain, looking for that W bottom technical target and then some, right? Upwards of 70 to 80% gains could be had as a spot buyer from these areas of interest, as long as you tell yourself, what's my risk management? What am I going to do to show myself I'm wrong? Great. Hard invalidation is here, but I would say probability really shifts at the 786. So let's bump up invalidation, right? It's a huge risk on the table from here. Huge, 15, 16%. But what one could do is the same theory that we've already talked about multiple times, except you're employing it from a top-down perspective at this point, right? So now you tell yourself, I don't want to get left behind on ONDO, but I want a little skin in the game. I want to see what she feels like, you know? Where are we going? And if it leaves, great. You're in the game for these projected targets to beyond $1. And we can add these other buys that we saved into the trend as it reverses. Does that make sense? And that then would be how you somehow either have a 1 here, I don't know, but you see that ONDO moves upwards to that $1.25 range. And people would be like, holy shit, what is going on, right? So you would likely have AERO, ONDO, all these sectors all going nuts, right? So that's, but again, we're going to need Bitcoin's price to go up while Bitcoin dominance goes up, and then we'll see those altcoins go ape shit. And that typically occurs in a market cap sequence from the top down, right? Now, we're going to have some outliers. There's outliers in every thing that we see here. Every crypto sector will have its outlier. XRP could be an outlier. Now, again, guys, if you've been with me long enough, what follows XRP? Any takers? XLM. I don't know if Sage is still here, but this might even get her a little excited. If XRP goes and XLM goes, who's the other X member of the gang that might get going? That would be XMR, right, gang? Yeah, she knew it. She just said yes, dude. She's coming out of the left field. That's how you know. She's a gangster. Always supporting the stream. What's up? So yeah, if we get XLM going, Addy, and we get, that's 100% right, guys. You guys are so dialed in. It's unreal. So if XRP goes, you get that XLM follow through. Boom. We're going to definitely cross over and we're going to start looking at that rotation. Can we get these three coins to work for us? Look at this. Look what it's doing. Coming out of an internal fair value gap area from back here. Yes? Do bear in mind, this could have only been the first leg of A. We could still be looking for B in a flat and then a C leg later. I don't give a shit. Overall, though, you guys, we have to get Monero some credit on this. What's it making, shape-wise? If you were just a pattern player, what would you call this? Cup and handle, right, guys? Invalidation of a cup and handle is losing the projected 50% depth from the low of a cup to the top of the cup, right? So for me, that's hard invalidation on Monero. Everything I'm doing right now on Monero is essentially accumulation for a technical target of around 286% breakout, right? So you have a rounded bottom. That is a perfect answer, Addy. Good job. You have a rounded bottom. You're looking for a three-wave handle that may give an expansion of a flat, but maybe not. But you're looking for a three-wave handle with a really good reset on the RSI at that point in time, because you see we got really overcooked, right? What kind of divergence did we make? Highs and highs. The price action, yeah, you did. You got me to own it, say. I'm over here accumulating this like an idiot. So thank you. I now, unfortunately, am part of this club. You saw what happened on the last club I let you guys talk me into. I got fucking used as exit liquidity by the cock community and then thrown to the wayside like I was at a Diddy party. So now what we're looking for is for this accumulation to pan out and pay out. So you have not higher price action closure secured, but you made a higher high on your RSI. So you had hidden bear divergence on the trend. That's how we knew the A wave was coming down. This was our area of collection to buy. And now we're looking to see what the B wave can do. Why I bought the A wave, though it is something I don't typically do, I'm doing this time, because we're looking for a retracement from high to low of a B wave, right? B waves typically like golden pocket 786. That would also fill the internal fair value gap left behind in price action. In the possible potential gains, I'm just going to go from the average here, is around 24 to 27%. If it turns into an expanded flat, you get 1.236 through 1.382, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see it come up and go for 888 and get the people really excited. But again, maybe I'm biased because I own some. But let's look and see if we pan out this 3-day kind of three-wave handle pattern and go for that technical target of a 286% breakout. It would be fabulous to be accumulating the whole handle, and then you come out of this handle, get real. Like it's gonna be phenomenal. So keep your eyes on the group of the XRP, XLM, XMR. Really quickly, there's another sector that I think people often forget about until it's too late. And that's going to be Mana and Sand, AVAX, and ENJ, right? I do want to warn you, this made a potential valid impulse to the upside, right? And by that I mean, if this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? We're looking for Mana to give a really strong reaction really soon. And I think it's going to throw people off. When we resume getting Mana back into the daily bull control zone over the 50 RSI and over the 50 EMA, Mana's potential gains are amazing. So just a minimum first wave gain on Mana could take this to $4.78. From here, that's an 89% gain just for an ABC. That's just a correction to the upside, guys. That's just a little boop, right? That ain't shit. If it gets impulsive, guys, we're swinging for the fences, right? Like we're kids at Sandlot and we're setting up for the big league. We're going to swing for the fences. We'll typically get 2 spots fall back in this wave 4. So I would accumulate more in the 4 to go for the 5, but overall it takes you to $1.22 on Mana, right? Now, that doesn't mean Santa will follow hand in hand, but usually these two like to party together. Do you see how this could be a similar scenario, but we have a valid 3, 3, 5 and an ABC, which is likely an A wave. Looking for a B as a deep retracement and waiting for the C. So at some point, I do think you'll see Sand give the follow through. At that point, we can get a channel on it. We can work with it a little bit more. The other guy that likes to follow this gang and party together is ENJ. No different, right? What do we see here? Let me delete everything so we can see it. God, man, the jam box that I got going right now is perfect. Do you guys like Patsy Cline? You got to fire that off. Get some Patsy Cline going. It'll keep the party going. We got us an A, possible B, and another possible C, and a B wave. And overall, if you're lucky, ENJ would join that party. And what would happen to all the people who would get excited about this uptrend? There'd be exit liquidity, right, guys? Just like we saw back here. ABC ends on high volume. Your exit liquidity. ABC ends on high volume. You're going to be exit liquidity, right? So do bear that in mind. Anytime we see a 3-wave motion that ends on high volume, your exit liquidity. Let me find you a good one that just really shows this time and time again. What do you have, dude? Though it's impulsive and looks crazy, it's just an ABC that ends on high volume and everybody got sold off on. And then every time you zoom in on this coin, you'll see it again and again. 3-wave motion, all the volume at the top. Right? Here's another one. 3-wave motion, all the volume at the top. You're being used as exit liquidity, being sold off into. Here's another one. 3-wave motion, ends on high volume. You're being used as exit liquidity, right? All right, when you get a chance, can you look at GameStop? Yeah, I would love that, dude. If you guys have any other charts, please get them in. Tell all your friends we're still in here. We're going hard. We ain't scared to chart all day. This is what we do. Bring them in. Tell them, you know, bring your chart requests. Let's see what you got. And again, we'll just keep covering them until we run out of charts. And then after that, I'll take a break and move on with my day. Sorry, guys. Had to move some things around there. All right, let's go look at GameStop. I haven't looked at GameStop in a while. After it kind of got a little shaky, I stepped back because I really wanted to see, is it going to get its shit together, right? And I know that sounds bad. Oh, wow. Look at that. A gap down. And where did we come to, guys? Where did we come to? The pattern at play support, right? But what do you notice here on GameStop on the RSI? Anybody? You have higher closures on price action. And what on RSI? Lower closures, right, guys? Hope you're still here, JDM. Let me know. This is some fucking fire. This is all knowledge, sir. This is all good shit. So what you got to have is hidden bull divergence, right? Does anybody see this shape your RSI is giving to the upside? You're also crossed over your daily MA. It's no longer resistance to you. You're above it. You're moving in an arcing fashion on your RSI to try to come back to the daily 50 RSI value in the 50 EMA, right? That's around 2637. So we're validating, number one, the pattern that we see at play here. Let's go to a 3-day. This consolidation inside of an ascending triangle, right? So you can see it kind of pinging around in here. Ping, 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 ping back to the lower support line that we drew before. So I didn't just cherry pick this shit. It was on here before we came to the stream. It found support, my guys. So you're looking for that move to the upper part of the idiot box and to likely go for a little bit more liquidity. If you look at the wick left behind on a 3-day from the low of the wick to the high of the wick, the 50% liquidity was what we took previously. So if you come back up here again, it's likely you're going for more than that, and maybe you get to retest the outer edge of the deceleration channel on the 3-day. If GameStop can break this 3-day weekly deceleration channel, it will go apeshit. I promise you that. Yes? Now, it may only be giving a corrective motion to the upside at that point, but that's okay. It would still be some really good gains on the table. So be watching GameStop. Let's look for at least that minimum around that 33.87, but I think it has the chance to get up to 48 to 55 due to the technical target that's at play, and that would be a 67% gain possible if it can break $33 and backtest $33. GameStop will be slated for a 67 to 68% gain on the table. And then we'll cover more price action after that. Man, what a stream, guys. What a stream. Anything else that we have, gang? Anything at all, and we'll cover it. If not, I think we've reached that point in our journey. I want to say thank you all for coming today. I had an amazing time. Thank you guys for liking and whatever it is, thumbs upping the stream. We got 14 likes. That's incredible. I've had an amazing time. I will timestamp this stream. If you don't mind doing me a favor, if that's fair, after all the charts we done today, could you possibly share this stream with your friends just to get surfing crypto out there more and get our strategies out there more and let people see, you know, what we're doing here. And that I'm just a little dude in a big fish-filled ocean. But I'm looking to spread the love. So thank you all for coming today. And I thank you for your time. My voice is giving out. But thank you so much. Bye, everybody.